That's what we're here for, the builders and the creators and the artists, to provide actionable things. We can talk theoretically about, a lot of this stuff, and it's so enthralling and it's so captivating. But this is here. This is now. This has been released 2-3 weeks ago, and this is something you can do right now. And summertime song on the radio dial. You and me is all we need. Soaking in a little wild and free. Tech3 Media friends, welcome. I am super excited. I'm still technically on, I don't want to call it holiday because I'm working the entire time, but I'm on summer hiatus. But there's these things that are coming up, and you see me coming back because there's these things that are happening in the space that I need you as builders, creators, artists to understand, because they are so state of the art, and the ones that I think come in early on this are going to really experience the advantage of this new technology. And we're here with Andreas Nicholas, CEO of Access Protocol. Andreas, I hope I gave that Greek pronunciation enough credibility. Welcome to the show.
Nailed it. You're just missing a little bit of oregano and feta, but other than that, perfect.
Thank you for making us hungry. I'm just now my mouth is watering for that flavor. But for the creators and builders, on the show that are looking to monetize, I think the Access Protocol provides already this unique subscription service. It's more like staking. It's very intuitive. It's like staking, but it acts like a subscription service to your favorite creators.
So it's a general purpose protocol for monetization via staking. So what does that mean, and what is staking in the context of Access? So to answer that question, let's say you, Minty, you're offering a product or a service. Let's call it a newsletter. Typically people do payments for subscriptions where every month you're making a payment directly from me to you. Instead of that, we've kind of flipped subscriptions on their head and enabled creators of all shapes and sizes, service providers of all shapes and sizes, to open up what we call a content pool. And with that, users can stake our native ACS token in that content pool, and in return receive whatever product or service someone's offering, in this case, your newsletter. A few important distinctions here, though. You as a subscriber, or me in this case, retain ownership of your assets. So you are staking it, but you aren't spending it. So retaining ownership of...
That's so key there, because we talk about subscriptions and we understand that we've all subscribed to something in our lives, Netflix, what have you, and we give them a portion of our funds and our funds go away. Here we're talking about staking. So in order to quote unquote subscribe or to join my content pool, you have this ability to say, hey, I'm just going to stake with Minty. I retain all those tokens, but I'm just going to place them. I'm going to park them in your pool.
Exactly. That's 100% it. And there's one more caveat there, is there's always a question of how is a creator getting paid. So the protocol has an inflation, and anytime a user stakes, both the user and the creator receive a split of the protocol inflation reward. So it's a way to really create incentivized subscriptions where people are almost like earning to subscribe to you. And what that means is
that is an important distinction, guys. Not only are you not losing your money, you're parking it with your favorite, content creator, as well as earning with them.
Yes, exactly. Super important. And I'll quickly dive in why. It basically opens up a dynamic where over time users are earning the ability to consume more or support their favorite creators even further. The more you stake, you're going to get more rewards, and same with the creator that you really enjoy. So if someone's really delivering value to you, you're incentivized to stake more to them. And we've learned that very quickly. So there's 260,000 unique subscriptions active on the platform across 170 creators. 50% of those, so roughly 130,000, stake more than double the minimum to subscribe to someone.
What does that mean for maybe you're a couple of the most successful creators on the platform currently? Because I know this is a young platform. These are early days, but what is it like in terms of their return? What is it that they're seeing? What type of success are they seeing right now?
Yeah, so we have some people that have been on the platform now for a year and a half. Access has been live for a year and a half. There's some quick, simple math, and basically for every dollar that you have in a pool, you will receive annually roughly 35% of that, so 35 cents. Um, in total, there's roughly
That's way
$4
better than my
million.
bank. That's way better than
Yes,
my
exactly.
any of my Swiss bank
Exactly.
accounts. Yeah.
Precisely. um, so right now there's $4 million in active subscriptions, which means across all of our creators, there's roughly like $1.3 million in annual rewards to
Wow.
creators. There are some creators on platform that are much larger, that have larger audiences, and they've done incredibly well for themselves. But also some independent creators that are just killing it as well. So like when I think of the largest pools, it's some names that you might be familiar with: CoinGecko, The Block,
Yeah.
Crypto Slate on the larger side. They're all doing very well. In terms of independent creators, you can see some really successful ones that are making anywhere between $20,000 and $60,000 a year from Access. And that may not sound
I
like
don't
a
want to
lot,
say
but
passively. Yeah, I don't want to say passively, but that's pretty gosh darn passive.
it's fantastic. Obviously, it's no different than someone grinding away on Substack. Like, these guys bust their ass. They work very hard, and they deliver unbelievable content. So they're well earned. They're earning their keep for that. But with that said, it's nothing to sneeze at. $20,000 to $60,000 a year for creating content is fantastic, and we look at this as like a complementary income stream, not something to replace your main source of living, but something to augment it and kind of provide additional support to what it is that you're already doing.
And that's what Access currently is. And then we're going to talk about this new innovation with the blinks. But I think that and the actions. But before we I sort of get into that, you mentioned the why, and then that's interesting for me. Like what's the why for you, just personally? Being in this space, being CEO of this type of company.
Yeah, so I've been in the space for a long time, longer than I care to admit. Um, and we've seen a lot of technology come and go. And one thing that is pretty crystal clear to anyone on the internet is content is the largest surface area for all internet users. Every day, anyone that logs onto the internet is consuming content. One of the most struggling sectors in the world is also content and media. There's a massive dispersion, and the highest and most successful companies are far and few between. So how do you kind of like increase the surface area for the lower 99% of content creators, publishers, service providers to succeed? And it was pretty clear that not only like traditional Web2 Rails weren't efficient, but also all of the implementations in crypto weren't efficient. And we're living in crypto where, attention and abundance and incentives are all over the place. So we kind of took an approach of like, if we can kind of revolutionize the way that people consume content and have relationships with their favorite creators, then we'll see a trickle down effect that benefits everyone that is participating. So in my mind, it's just a no brainer to try to disrupt what is the largest surface area on the internet, and that is content. And at the end of the day, the only thing that is going to kind of change the way things are working is incentives. Incentives mean everything. And that's kind of why we're doing what we're doing at Access.
Amazing. Thank you for that. And we're going to jump into some really fun stuff here, guys, because Andreas is going to walk us through how to create. I mean, I'll let you lead, but I'm super excited because I know that this is a new thing for a lot of people to try and even wrap their heads around. I think it sort of started, for me, it started with Farcaster and the ability to, place things without leaving your home screen of X, and you can kind of keep scrolling, but having transactions, it sounds like, within X. Is that kind of how you guys approach it?
Yeah, so that is what Blinks delivers. And for those that aren't aware, basically 2, 3 weeks ago, Dialect, in collaboration with Solana and a few other companies, basically launched Actions in Blinks, which enables you to interact with anything, anyone on chain on a site that may not actually have support for crypto transactions. In this example, X. So something as simple as sending a transaction link and that link unfurling and you being able to conduct a transaction on chain directly on X. So there's a few questions around this. Why is this important? And we'll get into exactly how it works as well.
Well, I know
But
why
why is
it's
it important?
I can just buy my meme coin directly right on X, right?
Exactly.
Just tap a button,
Yes,
it's there.
100%. It just increases the surface area for people that are already on crypto rails to interact with each other. So going to a place where everyone is already logging in daily and being able to deliver an experience to them out of the box right within that website, X, is massive. You don't have to navigate to a specific site. You don't have to discover some art that you like or a meme coin that you think is funny.
But what
You
about
can
my
quite
sweet drainer links? I won't be able to get onto those?
Yes, drainer links is a problem for sure, and I can share a little bit about like how to protect yourself from those. But right now, these are walled garden experiences, so they are permissioned. So for now, drainer links will not be out there. I will say they probably will be in the future, and that is why it is very important for people to practice like actual true crypto safety and security. And
Go see
one
my
thing with
chat with
these,
Wallet Guard on the previous
yes,
episode for that. Congratulations again to Wallet Guard for being purchased by Consensus. Massive, massive. Good things happen to those who come on the show. I'm just saying. They get on the
exactly.
show, Consensus buys them. That's a
I'm
fact.
going to expect a call from Joe Lubin shortly after this show. So
Directly
hopefully it
after.
works out.
So
But yes, practice crypto safety and
absolutely.
don't interact with these with anything other than your wallet change that you want to kind of engage with. So don't hold your long-term bags and interact with these blinks. It's just poor safety.
Good tip, and appreciate that. Kind of giving us an understanding of what it is that we're stepping into, and those that kind of play, know that they should be, having specific wallets for this type of play. Especially our Solana wallets. Yeah,
So it's important to kind of give the understanding and distinction between actions and blinks, and there's a hierarchy here. So blinks cannot exist without actions. So what are actions? Actions are very simple, and that is like the beauty of it. Is actions are just an API that deliver a signable transaction. That transaction could be pay Minty $2. That's it. Super simple. There's obviously metadata associated with these APIs. And what blinks do is blinks are clients that are installed, say, on your Phantom wallet. And what they do is they read action links and they create an interface for users to engage with them. So it reads the API, basically creates an interface based on the metadata within it, and magically opens up an interface for you to transact and send Minty $2 or subscribe to Minty today. So very simple and basic, and that is actually the beauty of actions and blinks.
amazing. I mean, I want to set this up for myself. Like, as a creator, I'm just like, I want to be able to have people to be able to, subscribe, to stake with, in my creator pool, etc. I guess, how does that system go? Are you able to walk us through like sort of how to set something up?
Yeah, so there's a few things. Is a little bit of it is permissioned. So on the access side, you already actually have a pool. We actually manually do these right now on our back end, and we're working on an interface for creators to actually activate blinks themselves. What I can do is show you how it works on Twitter with another creator. And actually, Minty, now that we're saying it, is in the meantime, I can have the team activate your blink, and we can have listeners here interact with that blink on Twitter. So
Yes.
that is
This
a
is what we're
promise.
here
We'll get
for.
that
We're here
live.
to be the guinea pigs,
Yeah, exactly.
of CT. But let
Exactly.
me pull up your screen, and
Yes.
we'll walk through that process. Really appreciate your time with that, because that's what we're here for, the builders and the creators and the artists, to provide actionable things. We can talk theoretically about a lot of this stuff, and it's so enthralling and it's so captivating. But this is here. This is now. This has been released 2-3 weeks ago. And this is something you can do right now. And so let's jump in with Andreas as he discusses.
Exactly. And actually, I have this Blink. It's already populated, but I know your audience is very creator focused, and it actually might be very helpful for them to understand like how they might use this tool themselves. So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to go ahead and post a tweet. So in this case, this is the pool of a creator called Chain Feeds. They are a Chinese-based research and news company that offers a subscription on Access. So if I were Chain Feeds, I would post something like subscribe to Chain Feeds today. And this is a link directly to their Access page. And it's pretty simple. I post it, and you saw the link just get populated into an interface, and you can buy a subscription for 0.136 SOL. So we're going to go ahead and purchase that subscription. Got to unlock my Phantom.
Don't worry. You see your seed phrase. Don't worry.
Yes, perfect. Take my money, everyone. And now it's completed. Super simple. There's a lot going on underneath the hood. But that just enabled you to purchase an ACS denominated subscription in SOL.
That's what I love about this. As you're saying, it's very, you know, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but what you just showed us, our interface, I think is a dream for creators. The ability to say, hey guys, you know, I have this, this pool, or, you know, we'll go later on into different actions, this coin, what have you. But the ability to just approve in the wallet is really, really clean. That was super, super easy from the interface. And that's what we want to provide to people, to our fans, to those who might be interested in our work, that we are not complicated to work with. We're very, very easy.
100%. And what is super exciting about this is, let's say a year ago when we kind of first launched Access, if you wanted to do that, you would have to first go to Jupiter. You would have to swap into Access. Then you'd have to go to our website and find Chain Feeds, and then stake your Access to get that subscription. It doesn't sound terrible, but like compared to just clicking a button and making a payment directly in SOL, it's miles and miles better. And just an awesome way to engage existing users on X. And we can dive around the questions and almost the debate of, is this going to onboard new users? And in its current state, the answer is right now, no. It's just improving an existing process for people that have wallets. But it is very simple and easy to think of a way that these will actually create interfaces that will onboard new users and onboard anybody into crypto. And I would say these have only been live for 3 weeks, and there's already so much going on in terms of creating that infrastructure. So it's going to be a really exciting time once we actually can onboard people that don't have wallets with this.
It's exciting to you know, to be able to work within the Access system, as you had mentioned. You know, we've been playing together, trying to ruminate about, like, you know, how to provide value, you know, with this system, with my specific platform. But for any creator, it seems like Blinks also gives you this ability to utilize things, just, you know, transactions, etc. And so, is this what we're seeing now? Is Access powered by Blinks in a sense?
Yeah, 100% in terms of how you interact with it on X. Absolutely. One other thing that we're also doing is working with Blinks and Actions for on-site integrations on all of our partner sites. So you just saw how simple that was for someone to make a purchase of a subscription. It massively improves the experience on other sites that have crypto rails or a crypto experience as well. So we want to roll this out to all of our partners that have integrated Access on their site, to have this one-click transaction and engage commerce in just a much quicker, cleaner way. So there is just like a whole long tail of websites that will be integrating Blinks and Actions and creating their own unique experiences for their audiences as well. So this isn't just going to be something sectioned off just on X.
Who else is doing it currently live now? We know Access is doing it. Like, what are the other top 3 that you're looking at? You're like, wow, they're doing a really great job with Blinks.
There's a few. So Tensor does a great job. You can basically purchase NFTs directly on there. Jupiter allows you to purchase tokens directly on Twitter. I think one of the coolest ones I've ever seen in terms of just watching commerce and pure commerce, form of commerce, is I might be butchering their name, Baxis. They're basically an on-chain whiskey company. So they sell like really rare, unique whiskey
Whoa.
and scotch, all that good stuff. Um, I'll try to find a link for this and you can share it in the show notes. But they shared a link where you could purchase, say, a $200 bottle of scotch. And it was unbelievable. The replies that you see in there is just people driving in and making a purchase of this scotch directly on X on crypto rails.
Mhm.
And I thought it was just like the most beautiful form of commerce that I've seen in crypto, leveraging your platform that you've built on X and intertwining it with your business with a distinct call to action where people can interface with it right there on that panel. And I think it's something that everyone should take note of, especially say you're trying to sell your NFTs and your art. Take note of that, understand the power of your audience and the ability for calls to action to drive that commerce.
It seems you have a really good empathetic vibe towards creators. What if somebody's looking, to try and start out with Blinks or with Access or just generating income for themselves. What are like your top three pieces of advice that you would give in terms of steps of what they should be doing to try and help that step through from being artist, being creator into monetization, because it's such a trepidatious step for us.
Yeah, 100%. I would say the first thing is build an audience. And I'm not saying you need hundreds of thousands or even tens of thousands of followers, but you need a platform. So first things first, get on X, get to where people are your potential buyers or engagers or supporters, and build an audience and share your process and publish, post, create as much as possible. And don't be scared to reveal and share your work. And I think that anybody that is creating, writing, drawing will always have a progression in their career and in their experience where your early work is not going to likely be your favorite, but you have to get it out there. You have to get an audience. And the only way to improve is to create. So you'll only be able to iterate from your earliest stages of work by putting it out there. So that's first things first is just like get off zero, just start. That's most important. Two is understanding like the resources and tools that are available for you. I think leveraging things like Access, Blinks, and a bunch of other platforms that exist on crypto are really important for you to at least get your feet wet. And you're not going to make a load of money right away. But the second that you do make your first few dollars, you'll start to understand. And
What
that's the
other
most important
platforms are you
thing.
looking at when in just being, who you are in the industry? What are the platforms you're like, gosh, they're actually kind of doing cool work?
Yeah. With the exception of Access, I know I've spoken about Access a lot. Just shouting out a few others. Drip is fantastic. Just an unbelievable way to get distribution and get your work out there. And I was just talking about a platform, building a platform. That is a place anyone should be looking to use to build a platform because distribution is king. And being able to distribute your work to tens of thousands of people is just so important. And that has trickle down effects too, to your social followings, all of that. So if you're an artist, any type of creative, check out Drip. Fantastic platform for you to use to build an audience. If you're a writer, with the exception of Access as well, Paragraph is a fantastic platform, and that's more crypto newsletter subscription focused. So great way to kind of get your thoughts out there in the space. I would say those are the two most exciting
You
creator
can either go to
platforms.
either of those, or you can go to one place, which is Access Protocol. So
Yeah, there
just
you go. There you go. We
having
do
it housed
support
in one
both.
space.
We're very general purpose, so we don't have an exact focus just on artists. We work with anything and anyone that creates or produces any type of content. So yeah, we are very general.
And in that generality and that empathy for artists and creators, I think you guys are creating really one of the most innovative platforms, leveraging things that people in crypto know, the staking, and then now the execution of blinks and making it easy to onboard new people who might not be so crypto savvy, or just making it super easy for those that are. These are really, really important steps towards creators maintaining and understanding their ability to sustain this stuff, this whole thing, to talk to
Exactly.
interesting people with Greek last names and really,
Exactly.
really chiseled features. But we want to try and continue the work that we do in this space, and by having these tools and understanding these tools, it gives us a better idea of how to sustain it. I guess in terms of as artists, the steps to, is it, I guess it's join access. Is it, I'll put
Yeah.
the notes down below, but what are the steps in terms of the access steps?
Yeah. So right now the platform is still closed. We're slowly bringing on more and more creators. We bring on 5 a week and introduce 5 new pools each week. If you want to get started, we have a creator form on our platform, and if you fill that out, someone on our team will get in touch and have you actually submit to create a pool. If you're hearing this, please make distinction that you heard and got referred by Minty, and we'll make
So
sure to keep an eye out for that.
viewer
So
with the
yes, exactly. We'll be opening up general pool creation very soon, where anyone can basically create a pool and start promoting themselves, but still doing the platform tweaks and trying to optimize so that new creators feel empowered when they do join permissionlessly. So for now, closed, but we will be getting everyone that does submit a form. But yes, shout out to Minty, and we'll get in touch with you if you reach out.
fantastic. Before you leave us, I guess what's the big vision? Where do you see access? I guess five regular years is more like one crypto year, but like where do you see
I
it
know.
in the future?
Yeah, it's crazy. We've only been live for a year and a half, and like I think I'm aging. It's just crazy. I am aging, but yeah, a year and a half feels like 5. So, in my point of view, it's really interesting because we basically have 2 forms of content that you can kind of consume with Access and how you consume it. And one is on our hub, where people are posting, user generated content, written research, NFT, art, videos, whatever have you. And then we have our integrations. So, companies like The Block, Crypto Slate, CoinGecko, ChainFeed, Block Media, and many others. And they're all producing content native on their site that's paywalled by Access. So there's an interesting like juxtaposition between the two, and the way that I really see the Access platform evolving is becoming a Shopify meets Apple News.
Mm.
So this kind of headless marketplace that aggregates content created across all of the creators, whether it be on our site or on third-party sites, and a place to interact, engage, and consume all of that content. So we want Access to be spread out across as many websites across the internet as possible, while also aggregating and creating that discoverability for anyone that is creating content with Access. So we really see that hub becoming that one-stop shop to discover, consume, and engage with your favorite creators.
You guys are building it on this incredibly stable platform, I feel, in terms of, the token, and we didn't talk about this, but like the token is, on Coinbase. This is something that you guys have worked hard to establish already. So this isn't just a token that's, like a meme coin that was just kind of spun up. This is a year and a half of working to maintain and establish itself within the ecosystem of crypto, and its use cases are very, very strong, and you guys are just elaborating on that in iterations as they come.
Yeah, 100%. That's the goal. And to be honest, like, is it the sexiest thing in crypto? No, but I feel like
Not
it is one
yet.
of the most,
Yet.
not yet. I feel like it is one of the most impactful. And one day, I think that the world is going to appreciate just general content creation much more than they do today. And I think that it is the most underappreciated asset, content that is, asset in the world when we take into consideration that we're all consuming it every single day, day in and day out, every user on the internet. It is quite literally a finite resource, like, you know, gold, or let's say water. It is very important, and people are going to realize that content is a commodity, and being able to support your favorite people is going to be something that is going to be commoditized much more in the future.
That's my audience. Just a bunch of thirsty people looking for content, sweet content, and good looking people on their, you know, on their screens. And appreciate you walking us through, you know, how we can achieve a lot of that sustainability within a career, developing a career as creator, artist, builder in this space, and leveraging these tools. Hope to have you back on, because I know this is just very early on in this journey, and your vision for
Yeah.
this really amazing and fantastic, and really serves a lot of needs within the community. And each of these iterations becomes a tool that, if we know how to use it, we can really supercharge our space in it. We'll experiment. You know, we'll, down in the show notes down below, we'll put a lot of the links that we're talking about, as well as some of the experimentation that we're going to do with my Blink. And so we'll give me some feedback on that.
Please, excited for the feedback. If anyone has any questions, please DM me on Twitter. Very responsive there. And excited to hear your thoughts on the Blinks, and subscribe to Minty. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Andreas. Be sure to follow Andreas at Access Protocol for more information.